Chip Shop.
And last week's number 1 down to number 2, Underworld from Ultimate.
Britain's number 1.
But don't follow us wherever we go. The shit that I'm saying, make sure it's heard. Motherfucker, you and your...
All right, we got the number up. Anybody want to call, go ahead and call up. And we'll see if Officer Villa ever has to drop his nut and call or puta. Just keep reading these right here. Hashtag I killed a man. Yeah, Johnny Villa. And you was hashtag no rankers. He'd have been better off driving for DoorDash. What a fool. Yeah, he would have. Joe Below Frank, can you drop a link for your shit, bro? I need a sub up. Hey, hold on, we got a call coming in right now. Let's get it. What's up, Woody? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Frank Decas dropping knowledge, man. What's up?
Hey, what's up with it, Frank Decas, man? We send our love and respect to you all the time, homie. What's going on with it?
Hey, chilling, man. I just appreciate the fact that you guys share my content. You know that this is a mission. You know that if you guys go back to that video where I state why I restarted my channel, it really has to do with the fact that Dubs and Gunner decided to go on TikTok, decided to, you know, get invested in begging kids for money and then telling them, hey, yeah, we're on YouTube. And we know that these kids, if they have access to YouTube, which everyone does, they're going to come back and watch all of this depravity that goes on. You know what I mean? All the things that they've talked about. And, you know, a lot of people can think what they want. This has nothing to do with, at least in my opinion, you know, I'm sure everybody has different reasons to be a part of the movement. I know that the strong one is the fact that he lies about his status, whatever. But to me, it's not even about that. Because I think that, you know, part of what we're trying to spread is, you know, the actual change.
Correct.
You know, we were, many of us were given a second chance at life. And, you know, we want to see people do good with that second chance. And that's what, at least for many of us, I think we can all agree when we first saw Dubs on YouTube, that's what we saw. You know, we saw someone that came from the same background, you know, that was, you know, had a second chance at life. And it seemed for a while that he was doing it. You know, he was going about it the right way. And I felt, you know, identified because, you know, I've been out for the last 26 years. And, you know, I had to restart my whole life. I got married. I have my kids. Thank God, you know, they're with me, you know, and you know, I thought I could mirror myself like, hey, you know, this is someone that can understand or that's been through what we've been through. Then just seeing the changes, seeing the depravity, seeing the fact that, hey, maybe this has been him all along, you know, and I think in the end, that's what it is. You know, I was thinking about it today where he never finished any mission, bro. You know, he never finished the mission. Like at every moment in his history, he always, you know, bent the leg. He always, you know, dropped out. You know, he killed his own homie from his own neighborhood.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even gangbang right. You know what I mean? And then, you know, he gets locked up. I don't know what happened in YA. YA is a whole different universe.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So I would not know that. But, you know, those of us that have been unfortunately behind, you know, the bars, behind prison walls, because for me, that's the unfortunate thing, is that many of us had to learn the hard way. I had to learn the hard way. I knew I was smart. I knew I had so much potential, but I didn't realize it until I had lost all my opportunities. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that when we get into these spaces, when we start sharing our story, that we're real about it. We're not Supermen. You know, we made mistakes. That's what got us into all of the crap that we got into, you know, but I think it's a time where we have to reflect. And if there's young people watching this, you know, and they're seeing all of this going down, they need to realize that, like I have one of my videos, the internet is not a real place. You know, the internet is not a real place. Once we log off, we go back to our lives. We go back to, you know, I got to pay my bills. I got to get,
Yeah.
you know, I got to work. You know, that's real life. You know, what we're building here is a resistance to all that fakery, all the buffoonery that goes on just for clicks and views. So I
Yeah.
respect the movement. That's why, you know, if you see me on full fledged, you know, I put exposed to on my videos because I really feel that I'm part of the movement. You know, some people may say I'm a small factor because I only got I'm getting about 300 subscribers, which is great.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
man.
about 2 weeks ago, I only had like 35.
We're
I
behind
only
you
had
all
like
the way.
35.
Yeah, we're behind you all the
Yeah,
way,
so
Frank. You're doing what you're doing. We respect that, homie, and everything you're doing is commendable. And like you said, homie,
yeah,
it's not about Joker status. We can care less about that. You know, he's just a liar. And you, like you said, they came over here to start manipulating the people, manipulating their subscribers, taking advantage, disrespecting women and children. That's what it's about. You know, because like I said from the
yeah.
beginning,
So
yeah, you know what's up, homie, and I
you,
appreciate that.
you know, we just got to realize, and I'm just going to close with this. You know, the children are either abused or neglected. And many of us were somewhere in the middle of that. And we made bad choices of it. So to see two grown men who should have learned their lesson come out and just spread the bullshit, you know, that's where I come in. So, hey, I commend the movement. We're going to keep pressing on their neck. And good night to the chat, man. I'm going to be in there active.
All
in the
right, good
chat.
night to
So
you, man.
talk
Good night to you,
soon.
man. We appreciate you all the time, homeboy. Keep doing your thing, homie.
All right.
That's Frank Deacons right there. So you know, that's what it's about, man. Officer V on there, man, nothing but straight liars. Well, we got another call coming in.
Breakfast! I'm hungry! Take it from Karankles. That's me.